Good morning. I hope everyone is well. My name is Teniola Bankole and it's an honor to speak to you today. I'm sorry that I can't be there physically, but it is a privilege to be able to participate in some capacity, and I am thankful to Mr. Benga Samuel and the whole TEDx Youth team for the opportunity to do so. This is in fact particularly meaningful to me because I grew up in Lekki. In fact, not so far from where you all are seated right now is my parents' house where I was raised. And it really does speak volumes about the state of the world today that although I'm here in London, I can also be so present with you at this event thousands of miles away. In fact, this was once considered impossible, very much like a lot of other things which are staple in our society today. If you think about it, human beings regularly go on vehicles which weigh thousands of kilograms to travel by air at the speeds which are similar to the speed of sound. We are also able to pull out a device that is no bigger than a pack of wafers, but yet has the processing power of a 2000s supercomputer. We're able to attend any meeting, any gathering, any event from the comfort of our homes. And these were all things that at some point were considered impossible. Today, to stick with the theme of the event, I'll be speaking to you about possibilities. And I think for a lot of us, we've heard a lot of things about possibilities over the years. Your attitude determines your altitude, or whether you think you can or you can't, you're right, and all the likes. So I'll try not to give you a talk which you've heard several times before. But what I do want to speak about specifically today is limitations, and particularly how that plays into possibilities. You see, I think of limitations as either external or internal. And the way I would illustrate that is an illustration which I've used before in a speech I gave in my secondary school. And essentially that is, imagine three people walking. For one of them, they see this line in the sand and they say, I'm going to go no further. There is nothing beyond this. I'm going to stop here. The other two people either cannot see the line in the sand or they refuse to acknowledge the line in the sand, and so they continue to go forward. The second person similarly sees a line in the sand and they say, this is it. There is nothing beyond this. I'm not going any further. And they stop. The third person, again, refuses to acknowledge the line in the sand, and they keep going. I think in this illustration, you see a couple of things with regards to external and internal limitations, and we'll get to that soon. But I think the first thing that is worth noting, really, which is important to actually understand the illustration, is that I see possibilities themselves as actually a destination, or more accurately, a journey to the destination. See, it's not just about where you're actually trying to go, it's also about the steps that you're going to take to get there. And as we've seen in the illustration, you can have people around you who have walked similar paths, or maybe they even haven't. Maybe they have not a clue about what you are trying to do, and yet they can tell you, there is nothing beyond this which I have seen. It is not possible to reach this height which you have set. You cannot go as far as you want to go. And sometimes these external limitations can affect us. They actually can. Because for other people to say things which tell us that what we want to do is not likely, improbable, or impossible, then for us, it seems like that actually is reality. But there's also the possibility of internal limitations. Consider the illustration once again. If the third person, let's call them C for ease, decided actually that I'm not going to go at all because why bother trying? It's not possible. It's no way that I'm going to be able to make this possible or make this a reality. then actually they have set an internal limitation on themselves and they've essentially said, I'm not even going to try. And I do believe that that is possibly the most difficult limitation to actually deal with, one that is set internally, because essentially at its roots, it's a mindset issue. It's a limitation mindset. And it's an issue which takes years sometimes, or any period of time, for someone to actually be able to work through and for someone to actually be able to solve. So I'm not going to attempt to tell you otherwise. It takes work and it takes time to deal with a mindset issue. But what I'm going to say today, I hope, encourages you to confront these issues which one may struggle with. And that is this simple statement. And that is, I want you to believe that you owe it to yourself to try. You owe it to yourself to figure out what exactly are the ways that I could give this the best shot possible. What are the issues? And one of the ways which I encourage people to do this is to actually take a moment and think. It sounds very simple, and I don't mean to be dismissive in any way, but take a moment and think, why not? And the things that come to your head, the things that come to your mind, start to take the steps to say, how could these be solved? So, if you need connections, start to think about how you could get them. If you need investors, start to think about how you could get them. Or maybe actually your why not is, I don't believe it's possible. And that is what you need to solve. Start to get the necessary help or start to talk to the necessary people to deal with that fundamental issue. You owe yourself the triumph, the victory of at least giving it a try. So, that leaves two questions. Number one, what do you want to do? And number two, how are you going to try to do it? And I hope you enjoy the journey. Thank you for listening.